In this video, you will see what to really expect from LeBron James this season with the Lakers. It could be his last, but before that, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. In early 2025, the basketball community was caught off guard by a wave of unverified reports linking Nikola Jokic, the Serbian superstar and reigning NBA MVP, to the Los Angeles Lakers. Headlines began popping up on smaller sports websites, some with questionable credibility, claiming that a historic trade was in the works to bring the Denver Nuggets centerpiece to Los Angeles. The spark that ignited this rumor seems to have come from two different sources almost simultaneously. First, an NBA Rumors social media account, known for a mix of hits and misses, posted, "Sources indicate the Lakers are willing to offer everything for Nikola Jokic. Negotiations are in advanced stages." Second, an international sports blog, notorious for publishing exaggerated speculation, claimed that a 3-year contract with a player option in the final season was already verbally agreed upon. The problem? None of the major reputable sports outlets, ESPN, The Athletic, NBA.com, confirmed any of this. The story gained traction because the Lakers have a long tradition of pursuing superstars. From Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, and more recently LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the franchise has built an identity around attracting big names. For the more passionate fans, the idea of adding Jokic to that list didn't feel far-fetched. After all, he's the kind of player who can change a team's destiny. The rumor also found fertile ground thanks to the public friendship between Jokic and Luka Doncic. Some journalists began floating a hypothetical scenario: Doncic in a Lakers jersey, itself a recurring rumor, alongside Jokic forming a European super duo next to LeBron and AD. There was zero concrete evidence for this plan, but it provided hours of talking points for sports shows. Then came the social media algorithm effect. TikTok clips, Instagram edits, and flashy YouTube thumbnails showed Jokic wearing purple and gold, often accompanied by captions like, "Breaking, he's coming." The constant repetition made many fans start believing there was something real behind it. Small, unrelated details were also twisted to support the narrative. For example, Jokic postponed contract extension talks with the Nuggets. The official reason, to optimize financial earnings in the future, was largely ignored, with many interpreting it as dissatisfaction with the team. Another example, Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke mentioned in an interview that no player is ever completely untouchable in extreme situations. It was a generic statement, but was quickly clipped and reframed as, "The Nuggets are open to trading Jokic." Within days, a rumor with no solid foundation was being treated as a real possibility in online forums, WhatsApp groups, and even sports radio segments. It had the perfect mix of ingredients: an NBA icon, a glamorous franchise, and a fan base hungry for blockbuster news. In the next chapter, we'll explore how international media outlets amplified these rumors and which websites published the most shared stories, often without taking the time to verify the facts. Once the first sparks of the Jokic-Lakers rumor caught fire on social media, the story began spreading internationally at a speed that only the modern digital news cycle can produce. Within a week, what began as a vague, unsourced post was being echoed and in some cases inflated by sports outlets in multiple countries. The first wave came from click-driven sports blogs. These sites thrive on sensational headlines designed to lure readers into clicking, regardless of the accuracy of the information. Articles with titles like "Nikola Jokic to Lakers in record-breaking deal," sources, appeared without a single named source, often quoting each other in a loop of self-referencing speculation. One piece even claimed that the trade package was agreed upon and would be announced within days, despite zero corroboration from credible journalists. From there, international tabloid-style sports sites picked up the story. In Europe, several basketball-focused blogs in Serbia, Spain, and the UK began translating the original rumors into their local languages. This gave the impression that the story was being confirmed by multiple outlets when, in reality, they were all recycling the same original rumor. Social media further blurred the line between fact and fiction. Instagram fan pages, Twitter aggregators, and TikTok creators began producing highlight edits of Jokic as if he were already part of the Lakers roster. Some even inserted him into digitally altered photos of team practice sessions or courtside interactions with LeBron James. The captions were often written to imply certainty. Lakers land MVP in shocking deal. It's happening. This type of framing fed into confirmation bias. Fans who wanted to believe the rumor took these posts as proof. Adding fuel to the fire, NBA talk shows and podcasts, always eager for engaging topics, began discussing the possibility of a Jokic move to Los Angeles. Even when hosts clearly labeled it as just a hypothetical, many listeners only remembered the headline, "Could Jokic join LeBron in LA?" In today's attention economy, speculation is often received as fact if it's repeated enough times. Interestingly, a handful of semi-reputable sports news sites also dipped their toes into the conversation, not by confirming the rumor, but by writing explainer articles on how the Lakers could theoretically trade for Jokic under the NBA's salary cap rules. While these pieces were purely speculative, their publication on more trusted platforms inadvertently lent credibility to the idea that such talks were actually happening. By the end of the second week, the story had reached mainstream awareness. Even casual NBA fans, the kind who don't follow every piece of league gossip, were starting to ask, wait, is Jokic really going to the Lakers? The rumor had evolved from a whisper in obscure corners of the internet to a headline in the global basketball conversation. In the next chapter, we'll break down the specific sources these rumors relied on, and how some of them were either anonymous, unverifiable, or outright fabricated. Every viral sports rumor has a chain of origin, a series of sources that either start the story or keep it alive by passing it along. In the case of the Jokic Lakers buzz, that chain was surprisingly fragile once you traced it back to its roots. The problem was that most fans, and even some commentators, never bothered to follow the trail. The earliest identifiable source was a single tweet from a little-known account that often posts trade predictions disguised as insider information. The tweet read, "Hearing strong whispers that Jokic could be headed to the Lakers. Package would involve AD plus multiple picks." There was no verification, no context, and no indication that the account had genuine access to NBA front office discussions. Yet, because the account had previously guessed a few small trades correctly, some fans treated it as a legitimate leak. Within hours, the claim appeared in a short article on a sports news aggregator, a website that automatically pulls headlines from across the web. But instead of labeling the story as a rumor, the site used wording that made it sound like an active negotiation. Reports suggest that talks between the Lakers and Nuggets are in motion regarding Nikola Jokic. Here's the key problem. These reports didn't exist. The aggregator was using the tweet itself as the report. This circular referencing is common in modern rumor cycles. An unverified post becomes the source for multiple outlets, which then cite each other as confirmation. Next came the fabricated contract story. A niche basketball blog published an article claiming Jokic had already agreed to a 3-year deal with the Lakers, complete with a player option for the 2027-28 season. The post included no links to league filings, no statements from team executives, and no quotes from Jokic's camp. Still, the headline was irresistible. Breaking, Jokic signs with Lakers. This was quickly picked up by other small sites, often without even reading past the headline. As it spread, more details were added, supposed dollar amounts, inside comments from anonymous executives, and even claims of a planned press conference. Then there was the misinterpretation of real statements. When Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke said in an interview that no player is completely untouchable. It was a generic truth about professional sports. However, rumor sites reframed it as if Kroenke were speaking specifically about Jokic. This added a veneer of credibility to the idea that Denver was open to trade talks. Finally, a few NBA-themed YouTube channels made videos with titles like, "Why Jokic Will Be a Laker This Summer." The content itself was mostly speculative, but the thumbnails featured photoshopped images of Jokic next to LeBron James, with bold text reading, "Trade Done." The visual impact was enough for casual viewers to think the move was real. By the time the average fan encountered the rumor, they were likely seeing it from secondary or tertiary sources, far removed from the original unverified spark. This made it seem like multiple independent outlets were confirming the same story, when in reality, they were all recycling the same baseless claims. In the next chapter, we'll explore the role of fan culture and emotional investment in making these rumors stick, and why Lakers Nation, in particular, is such fertile ground for this kind of speculation. If there's one NBA fan base that can take a wild rumor and turn it into a trending topic overnight, it's Lakers Nation. The sheer size, passion, and online presence of Los Angeles Lakers supporters make them uniquely susceptible to and capable of amplifying blockbuster trade speculation. The Lakers are one of the most storied franchises in sports history. Their 17 NBA championships, Hollywood connections, and track record of attracting superstars have created a culture where big moves feel inevitable. This mindset makes even the most far-fetched rumor sound plausible. After all, if Shaquille O'Neal, Pau Gasol, and LeBron James all ended up in purple and gold, why not Nikola Jokic? Lakers fans also operate in a high-expectation environment. A season without a deep playoff run is often considered a failure. When the team struggles, the fan base instinctively turns to trade scenarios, not just for role players, but for MVP-caliber stars. These what-if conversations aren't just wishful thinking. They're woven into the DNA of Lakers fandom. Social media magnifies this effect. The Lakers have one of the largest online fan communities in all of sports, spanning Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, and dedicated fan forums. A single speculative post can generate thousands of likes, retweets, and comments in hours. And because Lakers fans are spread across time zones and continents, the conversation never sleeps. When one wave of discussion fades in the U.S., another wave picks up in Asia, Europe, or South America. There's also the star power factor. Los Angeles isn't just a basketball city. It's a global entertainment hub. Players in Lakers jerseys are seen as part of the Hollywood ecosystem, which appeals to big-name athletes and their marketing teams. This perception fuels fan fantasies. If Jokic were in LA, he wouldn't just be an MVP on the court, he'd be a brand icon off it. The rumor's appeal was heightened by LeBron James's timeline. Entering the later years of his career, LeBron is still chasing championships. Lakers fans know that pairing him with a dominant center like Jokic could be a title-clinching move. In that context, the trade talk felt like more than just fantasy. It felt like smart, proactive team building. Once the initial whispers hit the internet, Lakers fans embraced the rumor with full creative force. Graphic designers mocked up official-looking announcement posts. YouTube creators made highlight reels of how Jokic would fit into Darvin Ham's, or any future coach's, system. Even casual fans were sharing memes of Jokic tossing no-look passes to LeBron on a fast break. In truth, this wasn't the first time such a rumor gained momentum. Lakers fans have been linked to nearly every available or potentially available superstar in the past decade. Anthony Davis before 2019, Kawhi Leonard in 2019, Damian Lillard multiple times, and even Giannis Antetokounmpo in hypothetical scenarios. In each case, the rumor mill churned with similar intensity. The Jokic story simply fit the mold. A superstar, a plausible reason, contract extension delay, and a fan base ready to believe. Combined with the constant chatter from blogs, podcasts, and social media influencers, it was the perfect storm. In the next chapter, we'll look at how Nuggets fans reacted to the rumor and why their perspective added another layer of complexity to the story. While Lakers fans were busy visualizing Nikola Jokic in purple and gold, the reaction in Denver was far more emotional and, at times, defensive. For Nuggets fans, the mere suggestion of trading their franchise cornerstone was both shocking and insulting. Nikola Jokic isn't just the best player in Denver Nuggets history. He's a cultural icon in Colorado. Drafted in 2014 as the 41st overall pick, he rose from a relatively unknown prospect to a two-time MVP, NBA champion, and Finals MVP. His journey is the stuff of sports legend, and his loyalty to Denver has been a point of pride for the fan base. To many, the idea of him wearing another team's jersey, especially that of a glamour franchise like the Lakers, felt like betrayal. In the early days of the rumor, Nuggets fans took to social media to push back aggressively. Posts like, "Stop spreading lies, Jokic isn't leaving, he loves Denver," and "The Lakers always think they can take whoever they want," flooded Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook groups. Some Denver-based sports journalists also stepped in, debunking the claims and pointing out the lack of credible sources. Articles emphasized Jokic's strong ties to the organization, his comfort in the city, and his repeated statements that he prefers a quieter lifestyle, far removed from the Hollywood spotlight. However, the more Nuggets fans pushed back, the more attention the rumor seemed to get. In the modern media landscape, outrage fuels engagement, and Lakers-centric accounts seized on the tension between the two fan bases to keep the conversation alive. This created a feedback loop. The more Denver fans denied the rumor, the more Lakers fans debated it, and the more content creators posted about it. A particularly sensitive point for Nuggets fans was the contract extension narrative. Jokic's decision to delay extension talks was framed by rumor sites as dissatisfaction with the Nuggets roster or ambition to join a bigger market. For Denver supporters who understood the financial logic, waiting could allow Jokic to sign an even larger deal under future cap increases. This spin was both misleading and frustrating. The emotional weight of the rumor was also tied to recent success. Denver had just achieved its first NBA championship in franchise history with Jokic as the centerpiece. Losing him so soon afterward, even hypothetically, would feel like having the team's golden era ripped away. Fans compared it to what Oklahoma City experienced when Kevin Durant left in free agency, a wound that still lingers there. Some Nuggets fans went further, compiling receipts, lists of past failed Lakers superstar rumors to prove the unlikelihood of the move. They cited examples like Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Damian Lillard, all of whom were linked to LA at some point without it ever materializing. The message was clear. We've seen this movie before. Jokic isn't going anywhere. Still, even with their unified front, Denver fans couldn't stop the wildfire. In the next chapter, we'll examine how NBA insiders and analysts weighed in, and whether any of them gave the rumor real credibility. When a rumor reaches a certain level of public attention, it's almost inevitable that professional analysts, sports journalists, and self-proclaimed insiders will weigh in. The Jokic-Lakers saga was no exception. But as with many high-profile NBA rumors, the quality and credibility of those opinions varied widely. The first wave of commentary came from talk show personalities who thrive on bold takes. On national TV, a few pundits didn't outright confirm the rumor, but they entertained the possibility with enough detail to keep the fire burning. Statements like, "If the Lakers really wanted Jokic, they could put together a package starting with Anthony Davis," or "It's not impossible." Denver has to think about the future, were enough to make casual viewers think there was a legitimate story behind the speculation. Then came the podcast breakdowns. Popular NBA podcasts spent entire episodes dissecting the trade from a what-if perspective. Even when hosts clarified that they were only discussing hypotheticals, the episode titles, "What Would Jokic Look Like in LA?" and thumbnail images of Jokic in a Lakers uniform blurred the line between imagination and reporting. Many listeners skipped the nuance and remembered only the headline. A handful of well-known NBA reporters, such as those from ESPN and The Athletic, directly dismissed the rumor. They pointed out that Jokic was under contract through at least 2027, that Denver had no incentive to trade their franchise player, and that no credible front office source had mentioned any talks with the Lakers. One insider even tweeted, "There is zero truth to the Jokic-Lakers trade chatter. This is fan fiction, not front office reality." But in the fast-moving rumor ecosystem, denials often get less attention than the original story. The initial excitement of Jokic to the Lakers drew clicks, views, and shares. The calm, factual rebuttal did not. There was also the complicating factor of mock trades and salary cap analysis. Several respected NBA analysts wrote articles explaining how, in theory, the Lakers could trade for Jokic under the league's collective bargaining agreement. These were purely academic exercises, not reports of actual negotiations, but once published, they were cited by less careful outlets as proof that a deal was being considered. Meanwhile, less reputable insider accounts seized the opportunity to gain followers. They posted fake updates like, "Sources tell me Lakers have reached out to Denver regarding Jokic's availability." No such sources existed, but the posts racked up thousands of interactions, feeding the illusion that multiple independent confirmations were coming in. By the time the dust settled, the expert consensus was clear among credible reporters. There was no basis for the rumor. Yet the constant swirl of opinion, speculation, and clickbait ensured that it stayed alive in the public consciousness far longer than it should have. In the next chapter, we'll explore how the rumor evolved into memes, fan art, and viral videos, making it even harder for the average person to tell where the truth ended and the fantasy began. Once the Jokic-Lakers speculation reached its viral tipping point, it stopped behaving like a traditional news story. Instead, it morphed into a full-blown internet phenomenon driven by memes, fan art, and viral video edits that blurred the lines between fact and fiction. On Instagram and Twitter, X, fan accounts started producing high-quality graphic edits of Jokic in the Lakers' purple and gold jersey. These weren't sloppy Photoshop jobs. They were polished, realistic images designed to look like official team photography. Some even included fake press release captions. The Los Angeles Lakers have officially acquired Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets. When these posts appeared in people's feeds without context, many assumed they were real announcements. TikTok creators joined in by making short highlight montages, overlaying clips of Jokic's incredible passes and post moves with Lakers. Crowd reactions, Staples Center, now Crypto.com arena footage, and dramatic music. The titles were often phrased to create intrigue. What if this really happened? Or breaking, could this be the next super team? Although sometimes they skipped the what if altogether. Then came the memes. Social media thrives on humor, and the absurdity of imagining Jokic in Los Angeles provided endless material. Memes joked about him riding to practice on horseback, down Sunset Boulevard, dodging paparazzi on his way to In-N-Out Burger, or teaching LeBron James how to fish in the Colorado wilderness before games. Even people who didn't believe the rumor shared the memes because they were entertaining, and that only spread the story further. On Reddit's NBA community, threads popped up daily debating the fit. Some users made NBA 2K simulations, showing the Lakers winning championships with Jokic. Others created satirical leaks of fake text messages between general managers filled with ridiculous negotiation details. The satire was obvious to some, but others still took screenshots. and reposted them out of context. YouTube also played a huge role. Channels specializing in hypothetical trades and what-if scenarios put out videos with titles like, "Lakers are one step away from Nikola Jokic. Here's how." Many of these videos combined real footage with speculative narration, making them feel more like documentaries than fan fiction. The algorithm rewarded them with millions of views, pushing the narrative to an even wider audience. By this point, the rumor had reached meme culture status. It was no longer about whether it was true. It was about participating in the joke, the fantasy, or the creative exercise of imagining the NBA's most dominant big man joining one of its most glamorous franchises. Ironically, this made debunking even harder because the rumor was now part entertainment, part social interaction. In the next chapter, we'll focus on how the actual NBA season context, standings, contracts, and roster situations made the trade logistically implausible from the start, even before you consider the lack of credible sources. By the time the Jokic-Lakers rumor had fully taken over social media, one key fact was being lost in the noise. From a basketball and business perspective, the trade was never realistic. A closer look at the league's salary cap rules, the Nuggets roster construction, and Jokic's contract situation made it clear that this was always a fantasy. First, there's the contract itself. Nikola Jokic is under a supermax extension with the Denver Nuggets through at least the 2027 season, with a player option for 2027 to 28. His deal is worth over $270 million, making him one of the highest-paid players in NBA history. In practical terms, this means any team trying to acquire him would need to match that salary in a trade, a massive challenge that would require sending back multiple high-value players and assets. Second, there's Denver's competitive position. The Nuggets are not a rebuilding team. They are contenders. Coming off an NBA championship with Jokic as Finals MVP, Denver has no incentive to dismantle their roster for future picks or developmental projects. Trading Jokic would effectively signal the end of their championship window, something that ownership and management have repeatedly said they want to extend, not cut short. For the Lakers, the math was even more complicated. Matching Jokic's salary would almost certainly require including Anthony Davis in the deal, plus additional players and draft picks. Not only would this gut the Lakers' depth, but it would also make little sense from Denver's perspective. Swapping one superstar big man for another without addressing the long-term cap flexibility or gaining meaningful assets is not how title-contending teams operate. The NBA's new collective bargaining agreement also introduced harsher penalties for teams that exceed certain salary thresholds. Under the new second apron rules, teams above a certain payroll lose access to key roster-building tools, like the mid-level exception and the ability to aggregate contracts in trades. For the Lakers, adding Jokic's salary alongside LeBron and Davis would push them deep into these restrictions, limiting their ability to build a competitive supporting cast. Beyond the financials, there's the personal and cultural fit. Jokic has repeatedly expressed his comfort in Denver, his love for the city's quieter lifestyle, and his lack of interest in the glitz and glamour that often comes with playing in Los Angeles. While this doesn't make it impossible for him to join a big-market team, it certainly doesn't align with the narrative that he's eager to leave. Even the timing of the rumor didn't make sense. The Lakers roster was already locked in for the season, and the trade deadline was still months away. There were no credible reports of tension between Jokic and the Nuggets, no public comments hinting at dissatisfaction, and no signs from Denver's front office that they were exploring such a drastic move. In short, the rumor collapsed under even minimal scrutiny. It wasn't just unlikely, it was logistically implausible from the very start. Yet, in the world of sports fandom, plausibility often takes a back seat to excitement. In the next chapter, we'll shift gears and start unpacking the debunking process, how official sources and credible journalists eventually cut through the noise and made it clear that Jokic was staying in Denver. After weeks of rampant speculation and viral content, the narrative surrounding Nikola Jokic and the Lakers finally reached a turning point. Credible sources began setting the record straight. This chapter explores how journalists, team representatives, and league insiders worked to debunk the rumor and provide clarity for fans on both sides. The first signals came from Denver Nuggets official channels. The team issued statements through press releases and social media emphasizing their commitment to Jokic. While the announcements did not need to deny every speculative scenario explicitly, they highlighted the ongoing partnership between the star center and the franchise. Key phrases such as "Nikola Jokic remains a cornerstone of our team and our future in Denver" served as clear reminders that no trade discussions were occurring. In parallel, credible NBA reporters began weighing in. Writers from ESPN, The Athletic, and Bleacher Report published articles explaining why a Jokic trade to the Lakers was practically impossible. They cited contractual obligations, Denver's championship ambitions, and the logistical impossibility of moving Jokic's salary under the current collective bargaining agreement. These pieces emphasized that any speculation circulating on social media was purely rumor and fantasy rather than fact-based reporting. Some journalists also addressed the social media frenzy directly. They reminded fans that while Photoshop, edits, TikTok videos, and insider takes can look convincing, official reporting always relies on verified sources, something that was notably absent in the Jokic Lakers chatter. By consistently reiterating this, they helped fans differentiate between entertaining speculation and legitimate news. Even league insiders on platforms like Twitter and X weighed in, emphasizing the absurdity of the idea. Tweets from respected voices read, "No team is talking about trading Jokic. Stop spreading this." Lakers Jokic rumors are fun to imagine, but there is zero truth behind them. These interventions were crucial. In a rumor-driven environment, repeated statements from authoritative sources help anchor public perception in reality. For Nuggets fans, it validated their skepticism. For Lakers fans, it redirected enthusiasm toward more realistic team-building scenarios. Finally, a quiet but important factor reinforced the truth. Jokic himself remained focused on Denver. Through interviews, press conferences, and social media appearances, he consistently expressed satisfaction with his team and city. Unlike some stars who flirt with the idea of big market moves, Jokic's demeanor and statements left little room for doubt. His career trajectory was firmly tied to Denver. By the end of this wave of clarification, it was officially and publicly clear that the Jokic to Lakers rumor was just that, a rumor, with no grounding in reality. The frenzy that had captivated fans and created viral content gradually cooled as official reporting set the record straight. In the next chapter, we'll explore the aftermath of the rumor, how it impacted both fan bases, social media culture, and the broader conversation around NBA trades. With the truth officially established, Nikola Jokic would remain with the Denver Nuggets. Attention turned to the after-effects of the rumor. While no trade occurred, the episode left a lasting impact on fans, media practices, and the way NBA rumors are treated in the digital age. For Nuggets fans, the outcome was a relief, but also a lesson in patience. The intense wave of speculation had provoked frustration, particularly over misleading social media content. Many fans expressed gratitude toward journalists and team representatives who had clarified the facts. In fan forums, discussions shifted toward reinforcing the narrative of Jokic's loyalty and highlighting the importance of supporting the team rather than chasing clickbait. At the same time, some fans acknowledged the emotional roller coaster had been entertaining. Meme threads, parody trades, and viral videos had provided a humorous distraction, even if they weren't real. Lakers fans, on the other hand, experienced a mix of disappointment and acceptance. While the fantasy of acquiring one of the league's most talented big men was appealing, the official confirmation that no deal was in place forced a recalibration of expectations. Analysts and team-focused social media accounts quickly pivoted, discussing alternative paths for the Lakers to improve their roster. focusing on trades, free agency, or developing young talent, instead of chasing a nearly impossible blockbuster. The media landscape also took note of the ripple effects. The Jokic Lakers rumor became a case study in how viral speculation can overshadow factual reporting. Sports journalists highlighted the importance of differentiating verified news from fan-generated content, especially when high-profile players and marquee franchises are involved. Media training programs and reporting seminars began citing the episode to illustrate the necessity of cross-checking sources before amplifying claims. Social media platforms themselves became part of the conversation. Meme culture, highlight edits, and hypothetical trade simulations had created a secondary ecosystem in which rumors could thrive independently of official news. This phenomenon underscored a broader truth about modern sports fandom: entertainment. Value often outweighs factual accuracy, making it easy for false narratives to gain momentum. Despite the chaos, the episode also reaffirmed some positive lessons. Critical thinking matters. Fans learned to question seemingly authoritative posts and dig for credible sources. The power of official communication, team statements, and verified journalist reporting proved effective in dispelling rumors. Community dynamics, both Nuggets and Lakers fan communities found ways to engage, debate, and even enjoy the speculative aspects without letting them dominate reality. Ultimately, the Jokic Lakers rumor left a mark on NBA culture, but not in the way some initially feared. It was a reminder that even the most sensational narratives can be contained when official channels intervene, thoughtful analysis prevails, and fans remain engaged with the truth. In the next chapter, we'll explore how Jokic and the Nuggets continued their season, reinforcing the reality that the team's success and chemistry were far more important than any fleeting speculation. After the whirlwind of speculation about a possible trade to the Lakers, Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets refocused on what truly mattered: their on-court performance and team chemistry. This chapter examines how the team maintained stability and momentum despite the distraction of persistent rumors. From the outset, Jokic demonstrated his trademark professionalism. He continued to lead the Nuggets with consistent scoring, playmaking, and leadership, proving that rumors did not affect his performance. Interviews and post-game comments reinforced his commitment to Denver. He frequently highlighted team goals over personal speculation, emphasizing winning games, strengthening chemistry with teammates, and defending the championship. The coaching staff, led by Michael Malone, also played a key role in shielding the team from external noise. Malone and his assistants reinforced a culture of focus, ensuring that players were not swayed by social media chatter. Practice sessions, film study, and tactical adjustments remained the priority. This stability allowed the Nuggets to sustain a high level of play, maintain defensive schemes, and leverage Jokic's unique skill set effectively. From a broader league perspective, the rumors' resolution benefited the Nuggets. Denver did not have to alter its roster plans or make reactive trades based on speculation. The team could continue its strategic vision, which included supporting Jokic with complementary pieces, managing the salary cap wisely, and nurturing younger players for long-term success. Fans quickly adapted to this reality. Nuggets supporters celebrated the return to normalcy while appreciating Jokic's loyalty. Social media discussions shifted from what-if scenarios to game analysis, highlight reels, and statistical breakdowns, further emphasizing the tangible contributions of Jokic and his teammates. In contrast to the rumor-driven frenzy, these conversations were rooted in observable performance and factual context. Moreover, the team's success demonstrated that speculative stories rarely impact elite players' focus or output. Jokic, renowned for his calm and humble demeanor, remained a stabilizing force for both the locker room and the franchise. His ability to compartmentalize external distractions reinforced the importance of leadership and professionalism in high pressure. Environments. In summary, the aftermath of the rumor illustrated a key lesson. While social media speculation can be loud and pervasive, the real measure of success lies in stability, teamwork, and continued performance. The Nuggets thrived because their structure, culture, and leadership insulated them from distractions, ensuring that no rumor, no matter how viral, could derail their objectives. In the final chapter, we will reflect on the overall lessons of the Jokic-Lakers rumor, its impact on NBA culture, and how fans, media, and teams can navigate future speculation responsibly. The Nikola Jokic to Lakers saga, while never grounded in reality, left a lasting impact on NBA culture. As the rumor faded and clarity prevailed, several key lessons emerged for fans, media, and teams alike. The power of social media speculation. The episode demonstrated how quickly rumors can spread online, fueled by memes, edited images, and viral videos. Even when there is no factual basis, the combination of fan enthusiasm and digital platforms can make a story feel real. Social media amplified the idea of Jokic moving to the Lakers, showing that perception often moves faster than fact. The importance of credible sources. When official channels and reputable journalists intervened, the truth became clear. Team statements, verified reporting, and insider commentary helped debunk the rumor and restore perspective. This underscored the critical role of credible, verified sources in navigating sports news. Understanding player context and motivation. Jokic's loyalty to the Nuggets, his contract situation, and the team's championship aspirations were decisive factors in the rumor's implausibility. Fans learned that understanding contracts, team dynamics, and player preferences is just as important as following headlines. The resilience of professional athletes and teams. Despite the media frenzy, Jokic and the Nuggets maintained focus. The team's performance, culture, and stability were unaffected by external speculation. This highlighted the ability of elite athletes and coaching staff to shield their work from distractions. Humor and community engagement. Even false rumors can create entertainment value. Memes, what-if simulations, and online debates engaged communities and fostered creativity. While the story was ultimately untrue, it provided fans with moments of shared amusement and dialogue. Lessons for future rumors. For fans, the saga reinforced critical thinking and the importance of questioning sensational posts. For media professionals, it was a reminder to verify before amplifying. For teams, it emphasized clear communication and timely responses to prevent misinformation from gaining traction. Ultimately, the Jokic-Lakers rumor serves as a case study in modern sports culture. It demonstrates the tension between viral speculation and reality, the influence of digital media, and the enduring value of professionalism, communication, and fan education. While the story was entertaining, it also confirmed a simple truth. Nikola Jokic remains a cornerstone of the Denver Nuggets, and the team's future continues on a stable, championship-oriented path. As the NBA moves forward, fans and media alike will undoubtedly encounter more speculative stories. The lessons of this saga, patience, verification, and context, will remain crucial in navigating the fast-paced, rumor-filled world of professional basketball.